It's on! It is on, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Disney Parks Talk Live as the LP crew talk to you about what's going on in the world of theme parks over the past week. My name is Doobie Mosley. I am the co-founder here. What's so funny, Jeremiah?
Week.
Did I really do that? I hope you're not
You
watching,
did.
Kyle. I don't want to see a clip of that. My name is Doobie Mosley, co-founder here. It's been a day. Co-founder, no one cares. No one cares that you've had a hard day, Doobie. Co-founder here of Laughing Place. Over there is my fellow co-founder and the most beautiful person in the world, Rebecca Mosley. How you doing, Rebecca?
I'm doing well, honey.
And below her is the most beautiful man in the world traveler himself, Jeremiah Good.
Thank you, Dewey. That was very sweet. Thank you, especially since I feel like I look the worst I've looked in at least 20.
Feeling your age, Tom. Feeling your age with all this travel.
It's not the age, it's the mileage.
Okay.
If it makes you feel any better, I've seen you look much worse, Jeremiah.
Oh, thank you.
It's Cinco de Mayo. I need to go have some Mexican food. We need to go out for some tacos and guacamole later.
Maybe I'll get some.
Rancho del Zocalo got rid of their enchiladas. I was so upset.
That is upsetting.
Would you like me to bring home some Taco Bell for you?
If you give me some enchiladas, yeah. Oh.
I mean, I don't mind, but it's not Mexican food. I like Taco Bell. But...
All right. Let's get started here. So Mike Celestino, you may have noticed Mike is not here. Why? Because he is at Disneyland right now. So he is on assignment. So he's not able to join us, but his work is. So let's take a look at some of that work right now.
What's Mike been doing?
Mike is, that's not the right one. Mike's been covering the heroes of the LA wildfires. He had a nice cavalcade. There's Steve, by the way, of course, driving the fire truck. Got a nice cavalcade down Main Street this afternoon. We've got a video of that up on our YouTube. You can see it here. What a wonderful thing. I know Disneyland, of course, every big company has community relations, but there's something particularly special about Disneyland and, the way it's kind of the best regional park, the best hometown park in the world, while also being a world-class destination. So love when they do stuff like this. There's Mr. and Mrs. Duck right there. You can go check that out on our YouTube channel. What's so funny?
Breaking news.
When did they become married?
Are they sister and brother? They have the same last name. There must be some relationship there.
Oh, look, they gave out a complimentary button.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you this button, despite the fact that it makes
cool.
me angry. No, it's angering. Okay.
Doobie does not like
the
hard hands. Yeah, no, he doesn't like that.
So this is for guests, and then go ahead, Rebecca. Sorry.
And then members of the media received this beautiful button of the Charles Boyer artwork featuring the. Was this a post 9/11, or was
I think it was
before 9/11, and then kind of saw a research, kind of like a popularity increase.
I wonder. Gio, if you're able to check that out, I don't think of this as 9/11, but you might be right. I would love if Gio has time to check this out.
I was trying to remember if this was directly connected or not.
I think it may have been before 9/11 because I want to say it was one of the pins early on.
Like maybe September 8th or so?
I feel like it was one of those things where it was already there, but then it kind of took on a deeper significance. Just like, again, it's kind of coming back around again with a deeper significance because of what our firefighters did there in LA to keep all of that under control. I mean, that was a crazy situation.
I know.
Wow, amazing.
It's amazing how news cycles work. That's like such a distant memory. That was the biggest story in the world for a week. And, and obviously for the people who lived it, it's nothing but a memory. But it's just. No,
I was going to say I'm following my friends rebuilding, and right now they're having crews out to remove all the debris from their land so they can rebuild.
I have two friends. One, he's definitely moving back in this month, and then the other one's the work is just starting, and he was down the street from it in Pasadena.
Yeah, that they were up in the Altadena Hill area, up in the hills there of Altadena. So amazing. What do we have next, Mr.
Just one more quick mention regarding that, because I just remembered a story from last week where Disney is contributing some animation items to an auction, a Sotheby's auction. It's called Animade, helping out cast members and other employees of other studios who were affected by the fires.
Okay, now I need to throw in one of my friend who the work is starting on his house is a cast member, and Disney has been putting them up at an Airbnb, a house
Oh wow.
close to the parks, while their house has been being evaluated and the construction starts. So they've done above and beyond.
Geo, Chip and Dale don't have last names, do they? So I don't think that is a valid thing. But Mickey and Minnie, I presume they are. I presume they are. Kyle, I'm going to need more information than that. Is that a Google AI summary, or is that
no?
actual
The auction house, an auction house, has it listed as having been painted in '93, and it was to honor the firefighters during those fires down there. I want to say that was Laguna in '93 that had the fire. Yeah, the Laguna fire down at Laguna Canyon there in Orange County. So that would have been, kind of Disneyland adjacent in that way because it's down in Orange County.
Cool. So thank you, team, for taking care of that. Kyle is watching. Hopefully he came in late. All right. The next thing we want to talk about is Walt Disney and what are they calling this thing again? I should have been. The Walt Disney A Magical Life that is coming to Disneyland, the Main Street Opera House soon. And our own Benji got to go down and get a preview of some of the stuff coming there beyond the animatronic itself, learn a little bit more about the show. Sorry, you guys supposed to put an image up here, which will be a cinematic presentation of Walt Disney's journey, culminating in a visit with Walt in his office. So there's going to be a film that kind of like a tweaked version of One Man's Dream from Hollywood Studios. It will then lead into a 2-minute speech by Walt in a recreation of his office, kind of similar to Lincoln's speech. It will be a mashup of various conversations, but unlike Lincoln, who I guess his family did not say it was okay to use his voice, they will be using Walt Disney's actual voice, actual recordings of Walt that have been adjusted to make them sound consistent. We learned that Walt will be based around Walt of 1963 when he was near his peak with Mary Poppins, the World's Fair, and other major projects under development. The stage will have a rotating turntable, so they will be able to alternate between this show and the classic Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. So, and there also will be some new stuff in the gallery showcasing Disneyland before, during, and after Walt's dream, pencil drawings and other concept artwork of the first and secondary preliminary plans of Disneyland, and a special exhibit about the story and history of animatronic technology, with original and replica figures dating back to Walt Disney Imagineering's earliest development of the technology. So this will be both a celebration of Walt, Disneyland, animatronics, Imagineering. Sounds actually a lot cooler now than it did when I first heard it at D23 Ultimate Fan Event. What you guys think?
Ben's description of it was it seemed to have made a bit of an emotional impact on him. And that kind of surprised me. As
Ben has no heart. Yeah.
They didn't see him in motion. They saw the figure. And it seems like, Donna, you're asking if he stands to. I get the impression he kind of is just kind of leaning there. I don't get the impression that he's going to be kind of as formal in his presentation as President Lincoln is. The other thing that caught my eye when Benji was talking about it, by the way, you can see that discussion. It was a morning show last week. I'm sure somebody can put the link in the chat. If not, we'll have it in the show notes. But that he was surprised by just kind of the attention to detail that was there. And what but like I say, the thing that Benji mentioned that also kind of caught my ear was that the finale, as you leave now, they're going to have a mural dedicated to the cast. So it's one of those trying so hard to ignore the chat. Jeremiah, are you excited about this?
I've been excited since D23. This is something, when it was announced, a lot of people were like, how dare they? How dare they? But one of my Imagineering friends made a point that really stuck with me. Marty Sklar was really the person who's like, no, we're never going to do a Walt animatronic because, he's a man. And to us, Lincoln was somebody that Walt looked up to. So it was his idol. but now the Imagineers, Walt's their idol. Like, we are so far removed from Walt's passing. There are people who, up until probably this, a lot of people will still be like, Disney, isn't that just a park? They've tried so many times over the years to make sure we know Walt is Walt Disney. So I think this will be something that'll hopefully stand out, and I think they'll be reverent enough with it where it won't be. I'm sure they'll throw in some little joke, some nod because it's Walt and he's fun, but I think it's going to be one of those, just like Lincoln to me, where it's very special and it's something I have to do every time.
Wait, you do Mr. Lincoln every time you go to Disneyland?
I do. I've been very sad my past few visits.
That's crazy. Wow. Wouldn't it be funny if the joke they threw in, like Walt's just there, like with an ice cream or something frozen? Wouldn't that make you laugh? Just me? No.
Just you.
Just me. Gio think the tech is right now for this to happen. I do expect this to look very, very, very good. A lot of pressure, obviously, to, you want to use the best AAs you've got when you're recreating the man himself. All right. Let us move on to something else that's new. Did you get to experience these, Jeremiah?
I did.
Talk. Oh, both of you can talk.
Yeah. Well, so the funny thing is, I've experienced these turnstiles now in my trip, 3 different parks on 3 different continents. While Disney World is still never going to have these, but in Hong Kong and Disneyland Paris, it's just you put your ticket down, you go through. This is bring up your ticket on your phone, you stick it underneath the scanner, you take a step back, you make sure your face is clear. Universal has the same type of technology, but there's some reason just is so much smoother than this one. I watched people, and the cast members stand on the other side and they have to check the little screen. It is not a smooth process. It almost feels like it takes longer than the taking of the picture in the last iteration of the turnstiles at Disneyland. But hopefully, as time goes on, it'll become a little bit clearer. But it wasn't. I watched people do this with everything with their phone possible, other than just stick it underneath the scanner that has a clear sticker. That's what you do.
You have a similar experience, Rebecca?
I wasn't at the main turnstiles. I was over at the monorail when this was happening, because that's the only one that was operating at the time. We're still working on these turnstiles, and it took a moment for me to kind of figure out what I was doing. So but then it was okay. I'm interested to see how they say in the description that it's don't worry about your kid, don't worry about height differences and that kind of thing. But the socials I've seen people posting about some challenges with that. So I'm interested to see how that ends up over time. I mean, for example, I know that when I'm at TSA and they're doing this, there's somebody who's physically lowering the camera and picking the camera back up from time to time. And so I don't know if that's going to be an aspect of this, or if it has a much wider range to begin with. So the biggest thing for me is I'm really hopeful that it will, I don't know, just make it a little bit smoother to get in, since they require photos. So we'll see, even if it can reduce that just a little bit, rather than forcing the cast member to take a picture of each person as they enter. If you're able to go in doing like we do when we go on a cruise, where we take our own photo before we go, and so we can just, they're just checking it against something they already have, that would be lovely. So hopefully with time, it'll just make that entrance process smoother, because they do that facial dynamic at Disneyland.
One of the other things that is a challenge is there's a beam that, and this is the same in the other parks, where if you break that beam, you can see the Magic Band touch point, and there's a beam. If you're inside that beam, the gates won't open or close at all, or they won't open for you, because if you break that beam, you're already too far in. So people were walking up, scanning, and standing right there. Then they had to take a step back. They need the footprints in front of each of them, like they have at TSA, definitely.
Or changing the ground or something that's more, what people are used to, rather than
come up
stepping
and
into it.
Grab your feet and lock you in place for a few seconds.
So yesterday, of course, was May the 4th, aka Star Wars Day. I know they had activities, a lot of merchandise. Thank you. A lot of merchandise activities in particular on both coasts. So let's stay on the West Coast. Rebecca, where should we hit first with Star Wars Day?
Oh, I was just going to say that the live blog looked like Jeremiah and Mike were having a lot of fun, although Jeremiah was soggy.
Yes.
So,
it was a fun day. I got there like very early, ran in, and where we were told stage 1 will have a virtual queue, there was Empire merchandise at Keystone Clothers. There were, every shop had something different, but the Keystone Clothers and stage 1 were the two big ones, other than Doc Ondor's. But longest lines in the entire park, popcorn buckets. Popcorn buckets.
And it's fun because some of these are ones that were already out on the West Coast. So people have been really amped to get these because they had popped up at Disneyland for the season of the Force. So they had, been seeing their West Coast friends, touting them and hyping them. So there was a lot of excitement. This was the first time I ever wished I was a Pandora person. I really liked that.
It
charm.
was a very
Really
cute
pretty.
charm. I didn't get a chance to see it in person, but the sign was up in Keystone Clothiers.
But I was going to say, with this event, it's become so merchandise heavy. We'll be talking about it tomorrow on Barely, because a lot of these items are available on DisneyStore.com. Any of them in particular, Jeremiah, you're like, woohoo, yay.
I loved the probe droid. That was one that, because it's motion, it follows you, and it's a really cool looking item. But it was one of those ones of like, I'm not going to carry this around the park. And the mouse droid, which is amazing looking and massive, but here we could buy it in stage 1, and then they put a wristband, you'd collect it at the exit of the park, so you didn't have to carry it around.
Well, that's
But
nice.
it was 4 pounds,
Wow.
very lightweight, but massive. And, as with everybody, including our own Mike Celestino, bought it, we'll play with it once, and then it's going to take up a massive space in your house.
But it's wonderful. And I'm like trying to decide if I'm going to, I wasn't there. I didn't get to see it in person. I'm one of those, I don't like to buy things online like this kind of thing. I like to see them in person because it's whether or not do I truly love it. But I have space for it. It's over there. I can see where it would go, right over there. So, but I loved how Mike tweeted this of something like, it looks like I bought a droid, or somehow I bought a droid.
Yeah, it is too big for the impulse buy. And I know Mike's house, and this is going to be, taking up space on a shelf that he doesn't have space for.
Lexa says, I'm ready for tomorrow's drops. The Star Speeder was listed as a pre-order, and yet it sold out. I didn't expect that, so I'm a little bit of a doghouse when it comes to that, because I thought I had time to buy. I'm figuring it'll still pop back up because it says, stay tuned or whatever. So, because it was not in my current budget, but it is in my future budget. One of the interesting things I noted was that season was this Jawa sipper. If you bought it at Disneyland Resort, it was $33.49, including your drink. But if you were getting it over at Disney World, it was, what was it, Doobie, like right around the $20 mark?
$20.79
with beverage. So they didn't seem any different to me when Jeremiah sent the video over. So I thought that was kind of interesting that we had such a very different price point, East Coast, West Coast.
Aren't Jawas known to be like negotiators?
Well, that's what I thought was kind of funny, was of all the characters, it's the Jawa.
And it's very cute, but it's like that big. So it's not, it makes sounds and lights up. So it's, out of all the sippers that have come out in the past 3 days for May the 4th, this one is the one that was definitely the most appealing for me.
Over at Downtown Disney, they had a free takeaway. They also had this at Disney Springs. It was a build a little Grogu, and you could also participate in this mural out here at Downtown Disney, and Mike got a picture of it as he left to head out. And unfortunately, he wasn't among those who were at the May the 4th After Dark event there at Disneyland, because they got a little surprise. Diego Luna, who portrays Cassian Andor, showed up to join the celebration, and they had some of the scenes from the show displayed on the castle during like a special performance a couple of times that night. So a little extra fun for the people who had been lucky enough to get a ticket for that date, because it sold out quick, as I remember. My memory was that date went very quickly.
I believe that was the only one that actually sold out early.
Yeah. So there you go.
Ready to move on?
Sure.
All right. Well, speaking of Star Wars, guess who made their way to Disney California Adventure?
Okay. Now here comes the question I asked earlier. What's the answer? Am I now supposed to say this is Red Guardian from Thunderbolts, or am I now supposed to say this is one of the new Avengers, Red Guardian?
Yes.
Yes, I believe that it's officially been changed. The name of the movie is now The New Avengers.
Even though my AMC app still says Thunderbolts.
Well, so does the AMC website. So,
Yeah.
And I almost said Thunderbirds again. I got busted by the team earlier today because I said Thunderbirds, Thunderbolts, but I don't have to learn that because it's The New Avengers.
Which is too bad. I hope people got to see it on opening weekend when it was Thunderbolts, because that is a fantastic reveal in the movie. So anyway, the Red Guardian is here. He has made his way to Disney California Adventure. He's so excited to be there. He's finally a celebrity that he's always dreamt of being. What a fun character to have in the park. So you can go.
So I will tell you, he is only available from about 10 to, I think his last set ends at 3:45. Okay. So if you happen to get there at like 5 o'clock,
he's not. That's
he's
wild.
gone.
Is that? Oh, was that you? You got there late?
Yes. Yeah, but the review I heard from one of my friends is his energy is on par with Cruella at Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully he'll be sticking around. Also, for I guess we don't have to worry about any spoilers. Kind of makes sense why they ended that show that was on the Avengers Tower after seeing the New Avengers.
I know. Very funny. That's what I kind of thought too when I saw him.
Ho ho ho!
I like the asterisks. Check it out.
Oh, nice, that's good,
Tony. Okay,
that is good, Tony.
I think that's what we need to do now. We need to have a picture of Santa with Santa Claus with the asterisks, and then the picture of this guy with Red Guardian, and then Thunderbolts and New Avengers. Like it's like a four pictures. Go ahead.
Also, in Avengers Campus, the walkway between Avengers Campus and Radiator Springs has been temporarily disabled.
So now they have artwork on that other one.
Ooh.
Since these pictures were taken, that this didn't reopen already?
Am I sure?
Yeah.
No, the walkway is going to be closed. This is for the construction of the new attraction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was some area that was open and then closed and then open, because I know there were.
If it's open, it was a temporary open, because this is extended.
Okay.
So anyway, you can see this walkway is closed. Don't worry, there's still two other ways to get into the Avengers Campus.
Because we're getting ready for all this fun stuff coming to Avengers Campus: the Stark Flight Lab, and the other e-ticket ride that's coming.
Speaking of flight, Soarin' Around the World is getting the same update that Walt Disney World's version got. The tower, called Eiffel, is not going to be curved anymore. The Eiffel Tower, you can see before and after, which, wow, that's some curvature. So this was done. When was this done at Disney World, Jeremiah?
It's been a few months, and they aren't getting rid of the curvature. They're getting rid of you flying closer enough to the tower to actually see that. It's just they cut it a few scenes early.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I believe our video may be the next one down.
Oh, yeah. You are right. Here it is. Da, 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 da. Oh, didn't want the music. Da, 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 da. There it is. It's straight. It's not so straight.
No,
it's new or the old?
That's the new.
It's not that straight.
It's never going to be totally. It's a curved screen. It's never going to be totally straight. And you're in a chair, So it's the
Yeah, that was the
perception
new
of
one.
watching it on a flat video versus the reality of being there. Come on.
All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, let's see what else. A couple more Disneyland items. Were you there since they made the changes to the seating area for the Royal Street Veranda, Jeremiah?
I was not. I would. Well, I guess it happened the day I was there, but I didn't make it over there. Everybody's kind of like making a huge deal of this. They already did this once in Adventureland. They closed half the shops and put in seating. This one, we didn't need that much Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise.
Well, it was Haunted Mansion too, which they just got their whole store to themselves. Yeah, I don't see any reason to have any issue with this. Usually people have issues when they put merchandise in, not take merchandise out.
Yeah.
So, and considering the Royal Street Veranda, I believe, had exactly 4 seats before this change, I think
there weren't very many chairs before, so I'm excited.
A good change. And they did a nice job. This was really attractive.
Pretty.
So,
it's a nice space.
Really nice work over by the Royal Street Veranda, and you can actually get something there. Now that you have a place to,
alcohol.
Banana.
A one-of-a-kind shop? Oh, wait, no.
Where'd it go? Sorry, things did not get in the right order.
Is this where the snowballs are going to be?
Yes.
That's what I'm
guessing.
getting.
I'll lead into it for you, Doobie.
Yeah. So now that you have a place to sit, you can buy these and eat them before they completely melt. These are the new snowballs available at the Royal Street Veranda. Do you think this is as good as shaved ice in Aulani and Disney in Hawaii?
Well, okay, Aulani maybe, but Hawaii in general.
Hawaii, no. All right, let's do.
By the way, if you go to Hawaii and you only have shaved ice at Aulani, you should not count it as having Hawaiian shaved ice.
Although we never had the shaved ice. We never had it at Aulani, did we?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
And I got one of the Mickey ones. Yeah.
Okay. And it was shaped like Mickey, but otherwise could not compare to the others we had.
Correct.
You have to go to the North Shore to Masamoto's, which was one of the original shaved ice locations.
Oh, no, not. I know. Yes, I know it's an original, but no, we became big fans of Island shaved ice, as I recall.
Oh.
Some locals told us they thought it was better, and we thought it was closer, so therefore we hit it, and it was amazing.
So good. Gideon bought a t-shirt. Well, Gideon had us buy a t-shirt. All right, the Savannah Bananas.
I am very excited about this. This is a new sport on the scene called Banana Ball. But this particular team is the Savannah Bananas. They're kind of the foundational team. There's a league, I want to say, of about 5 teams. It is an incredibly fun way to experience baseball. I mean, you've got a stilt walker there in the background, and I mean, he actually steps up to the plate, every now and again. Plays are theatrical in experience of a routine fly ball becomes a backflip catch. They have special rules, like if the fans make a clean grab in the foul territory, it's an out. It's a timed play, so when the clock hits at the halfway mark, no matter what's happening on the field, play comes to a stop, and it's time for the halftime show. So some people like to compare it to the Harlem Globetrotters. I'm hesitant to do so because this is actually competitive. It isn't like it isn't scripted in that you don't know who's going to win, because they actually are playing. They have points, they have score, but it's more about the fun and the theater and the high energy with that competitive element in there too.
And why do we bring it up in Disney Parks Talk?
Because they're coming to Disneyland. I'm so excited.
Yes, on May 28th, they are having
Banana Day.
Banana Day at Disneyland.
So that's why a few weeks ago we noticed some new food items were coming to the Disney Resort that are banana based, but they would have a short window, and then they were going to go. It was like, we're doing these 70th items, and then we're doing these banana items, and then we're doing these 70th items again. And it's because the bananas are coming to town. They're going to play 2 games at Anaheim Stadium that weekend, but at Disneyland, they're going to be in a cavalcade one day. They're going to perform a special dance to Hey Baby in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle, which, by the way, there's a typo in our article that needs to be fixed. And you can get all kinds of special treats. I am so hoping that I will be at the park. I have a trip planned near then. I don't know if I'm going to get to extend it to be able to enjoy this, but I want to try the cold brew. I want to try the banana pudding, and I want to see the Savannah Bananas dance Hey Baby in front of Sleepy Beauty Castle.
So Banana Day, Disney is all in on the Savannah Bananas. This is just one.
They're on ESPN. If you haven't seen them, go see them on ESPN. They're fantastic.
All right, getting back to you, Jeremiah. When I think of trash, I think of Jeremiah. Did you get to see these?
I did. They debuted before I was there, but then I also did pictures and sent them off to our friends over at
Of
magicaltrash.com, who always
course.
give us credit for everything.
Yeah, magical
There,
trash.
there are 4 different locations of these. 2 are in Radiator Springs, one is in Tomorrowland, and then the other one is in Bayou Country. Do we only have the 3?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we only have the 3.
Yeah, in Bayou
Yeah,
Country,
I
there
don't think we have the Bayou
is.
Country one yet.
Hang on, I'll try to send that over to you.
And while
But
you
I
do
was
that,
talking. Go ahead.
while you do that, I will just explain that this is to help you keep in mind that this is where your food scraps go. So this is for the food only. You're going to put your plastics and your other trash elements in the other cans. This one is simply for that food waste that you have.
Do we know how firmly these are bolted to the trash cans? Because I just see these walking away every single day.
They are pretty firmly. I definitely tried to get my hands on them. You know me. No, they're solid. I actually talked with one of the managers at Tomorrowland Terrace or whatever it is called this week over there.
Galactic Grill.
Thank you. It's always Tomorrowland Terrace. But right now it is just a pilot program with the 4 of those.
Okay.
2 in each of the locations in Hungry Bear and Galactic Grill, and then the 2 that are in Radiator Springs. There's 2 of each of the cans.
Okay.
Hang on, let me get the second one so you can get it close up.
That's adorable.
That is pretty cool.
I'm hoping that we'll see these figures realized in some sort of merchandise item.
Oh, there is no way they
right?
did this without that intent. No way in the world.
Yeah.
If they didn't, they probably have it now.
Yeah, it's just a pilot program, so hopefully it will expand and stick around. I will tell you, as somebody who is a trash can aficionado, trying to figure out the trash cans in Disneyland are next to impossible. Like, I watch people in Florida not being able to figure out to put stuff that are recycling just in the circle. Here, trying to get the scraping, the trash, the liquid, everything else.
No, it is a bit of a challenge when you're not familiar with it. By the way, Gio, we don't eat on our trash cans out at this park.
Yeah, that's a Disney World thing.
That's an East Coast phenomenon. That is not as common. I can't even think of really seeing it. Well, no, I guess a little bit with the food and wine at California Adventure. But most of the time, we didn't end up eating on our trash cans because we didn't have a lot of those kind of food events. So,
all right, a couple more. There's so much Disneyland Resort today. Let us go on to, even though at first glance you may think, oh, this must be from Disney World, but Rebecca, it's not.
No, we found this delightful photo op featuring Spike the Bee over at the Disneyland Resort Hotel. We haven't yet deciphered if there's a specific aspect to it other than it's just summertime and you think of being out with the garden and the beautiful kites and stuff, but we'll keep an eye out for more Spike the Bee fun over there, see if this is the beginning of something else.
They did shoulder plushes for him, means they have to shoehorn him in everywhere so they can sell those.
He's so cute.
Oh, I think this reminded me I should give an update. Last week we talked about the new Tiana's Bayou Adventure airplane from Alaska Airlines. We were in Las Vegas over the weekend, and we got to see it in person. We got to watch it take off from Las Vegas Airport on its way to Seattle. So
let me pull up I'll pull up a picture.
Okay, that was very, 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 very exciting for me to see a plane like this in person. Only a few days after it debuted. So cool.
Yeah.
While Rebecca works on that, it is almost. No, it is. It's not almost. It is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And that means Jeremiah has a reason to get some new Photoshop pictures.
Aww.
This is cool.
It's going to be May.
No, that's cute.
That's well done, Jeremiah. Well done. So, and which reminds me, I have a movie recommendation. What was the name of the movie we saw yesterday, Rebecca? Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, it was so cool.
So yeah.
Airplane the movie? Excellent movie.
Alaska
Yay,
Airlines.
we got to. It was funny because this woman came over and asked us why we were so fascinated because we all ran over to the window or watching the plane take off. She was like, "Oh, was that your flight?" Like, "Oh no, we're Disney fans, and that was the Disneyland plane." The movie we saw, it's with
Always Be My Maybe. Always Be
yes,
My Maybe with
My Maybe.
Randall Park, Ali Wong, and I am not going to spoil beyond that.
It's wonderful.
Very cute, fun movie, and a perfect movie to see this time of the year. All right, we've got 2 more quick items, and then we're going to get to some Disney World stuff. What a day for Mike to miss. So much Disneyland stuff, but he is busy at the resort, so such things happen.
Too busy at Disneyland to talk about it.
To talk about Disneyland. Nectar Life, which is a location coming to downtown Disney on the West Coast later this year.
You can learn more about this from the morning show. The guys talked about it there, so we'll have a link below. You can listen to that.
I'm glad. I missed this. I missed the morning show this morning.
Well, you got to hear Tony and Kyle's unique take on it, so don't miss out on that.
This is so cute. Oh my goodness. All this paint.
Is this just one of the carts?
Yes, they put a cart here temporarily while they work on the permanent location. This is a place that sells bath and beauty essentials. And is this not actual food? This is
correct.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, now okay, there you go.
He's got a new favorite.
Yep.
This is the most
doobie thing ever.
And it's all pink.
Yes, this is the Doobie store.
I want to be an influencer for these people. This is so adorable. I love this place. Anyway, Nectar Life coming later this year to downtown Disney. And finally, construction continues on ESPN Zone and construction on ESPN Zone, demolition on Tortilla Joe's as it transfers to Pearl's Roadhouse Barbecue. We don't know what's yet happening to ESPN Zone, but it's fun looking at these pictures as they tear away ESPN Zone, and it's like tearing away the layers as you can see what used to be, bringing back memories. It's hard to believe this place has been closed since 2018. We watched it open way back in 2001. So there you go. And there's also Arthur and Sons coming to the former Tortilla Joe's. Steak and bourbon. One of my son's favorite things, and the other is bourbon. All right. I think we are finally ready to move on to some Disney World stuff, including, is this Jeremiah? No, it is not. But he can talk about it.
Yes, Romeo is out and about as of today. Tomorrow we will have some photos and video and definitely a few selfies with him. The Disney parks put out a really cute video of fans clamoring for Romeo McGraw, and he appears. You say his name and he appears.
Last week we got a foodie guide for Geo 82, which is opening next month.
And reservations for that become available tomorrow. So I will be trying to get in there so I can do my bourbon tasting, me.
Oh, that sounds good.
I got to see, was that in our newsletter? Come on, newsletter.
See, Jeremiah, this is why I need to be in Florida, so I can go with you and I can try the bourbon and tell you it's yummy.
Oh, I don't know if there's bourbon. I haven't even looked at the menu.
That right there looks like an old fashioned. So
yeah. Well, old fashioned's been the hot drink for a little while because it appeared on some TV show once.
Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's also pretty.
So lots to drink, lots of food. Now, interestingly, this location is 21 and over. Could not think of another location in a theme park that is 21 and over in a Disney theme park. So
yummy.
There you go.
Ooh, that looked good too.
Yeah, it does look good. I would love to go there. Goofy is taking over Communicore Hall. Rebecca, what do you know about this?
That Goofy is taking over Communicore Hall, and there'll be some activities that are Goof themed, and I don't have the document in front of me and have forgotten.
For Cool Kids Summer, Goofy is taking over Communicore Hall as Goofy Core. And yes, there'll be dance parties and different activities inside. If you want some of the festival Flower and Garden foods, they've relocated that temporarily as they close down the Communicore Hall to get it ready for May 27th, I want to say, which is the kickoff of the Cool Kids Summer. And there are things happening in all 4 of the parks. And next we're going to talk about...
But I want to make sure everybody knows it has a fun name, Loopy Limbo and Parachutes and Pipsqueaks. I like both of those names, but go ahead, Doobie.
All right, if you want to hear more about Cool Kids Summer, maybe
Yep.
you want to go ahead.
We will be talking about Cool Kids Summer here on Laughing Place in our Disney Vacation Insights on Thursday. On Thursday? No, on Tuesday. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Tuesday at 4 o'clock. 4:30.
4:30. Yes.
My schedule got moved all around. I apologize, everybody. Let me be very clear. Tuesday, 4:30. We're going to be talking Disney Vacation Insights, Cool Kids Summer.
And I just learned about this because I looked in our LP newsletter, which was delivered about 41 minutes ago, and there it is. So, are you not a subscriber? What's wrong with you? You can get all the Disney news right in your mailbox in a very attractive format. laughingplace.com/subscribe. laughingplace.com/subscribe. Also keep you up to date so you know what's coming tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got let's see, the Holy Bobo 2020 podcast is debuting. Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary collection on Disney Store. We've got some shows here on LP. So yeah, give it a subscribe.
Barely has been moved to Thursday.
All right, now let's get back to these things. Jeremiah.
Yes. Pop Century debuted new room styles. I've been watching the Pop Century. It was one that I went to when it first opened. I've visited throughout the years. This new look, while it is not my favorite of the Pop Centuries, I miss when you could tell what decade you were in. This is a really nice setup, and this is very similar to what they've been doing in the other resorts with the Murphy bed that's the table, so it accommodates more. The colors are very nice. I will tell you, having the wood floors, and this is something that's just been in general on all the resort hotels, I miss carpet so much.
Mm-hmm.
You miss these too. There's a Hey Disney on the corner in there. Still got that going. Cool. Hey, thanks for that link.
I love Hey Disney. I use it often around the house. I have to be careful if I say it too loud. Stuff will happen.
Hey Disney, play some music.
And so
you said a soundscape.
Along with Cool Kids Summer, there are some new promotions coming to Disney World for some summer fun. As always, if you'd like to learn more about those, you can go to Laughing Place, but we recommend you book with mousefantravel.com/laughingplace because they'll make sure you get the best deal and you make the right decision on what kind of offers to take advantage of. Free dining is not always the best dining, etc. Look at that timing. Look at that Cool Kids Summer ad right there for Mouse Fan Travel. So yeah, mousefantravel.com whenever you're doing any sort of a Disney trip to make sure you get it in the best way possible. Speaking of summer fun, Animal Kingdom's even getting in on the fun, Jeremiah.
They are. This is the one that I read about earlier, but off the top of my head, they're having a sing-along as well as custom badges or a limited time badge for the Wilderness Explorers. The sing-along for the finale sounds like a party, so I can't wait to go take part in this.
Yep. There's crafts and all kinds of stuff like that. Wilderness Explorers Experience will have a new badge, as you said, the sing-along at Discovery Island. This is all May 21st through September 1st for Cool Kids Summer. Jeremiah, when you were in high school or junior high, would you have been considered a cool kid?
Nope. I was as nerdy as I am now. Just didn't have as cool shirts. Thanks, Roosevelt, by the way.
Thank you, Roosevelt, for making Jeremiah a cool kid.
Seriously.
There are hints that maybe the next Walt Disney World AP magnet will be Sleeping Beauty. It's a subtle hint. See if you can spot it. So.
By the way, I think it's overt that it's Sleeping Beauty. I think what's subtle is that it'll be a Maleficent, or because we've got the villain stuff coming this summer, and the way this poem is, this doesn't sound very fairy tale-y because it's like where magic weaved and there's sorrows and twisted fate and let hope I mean, this sounds villainy. So I think I'm leaning for that being the clue. I think Sleeping Beauty is rather overt.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Yes.
One thing, Tony is saying that the Dino Intern is a new piece. He's actually been performing at the bar it's part of Restaurantosaurus for many, many months now. You can walk in there and he's just I don't want to call him a strolling minstrel, but he plays the guitar. So if you're in Dinoland, go over to the bar. They have specific times on the app, and he'll make up songs for you. He's very much like Guitar Dan used to be.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember
So
Guitar Dan.
Tony's saying this as legit new entertainment. Enjoy. So don't miss out.
Legit. Okay, over in Paris, 75 children were able to have their wish made in a visit to Disneyland Paris, and something that they highlighted, more wonderful Disney community stuff.
That was the day I was there that they didn't do anything to let us know about.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this was actually the day of the media event. We were there for the music festival. This happened.
Right. Okay.
So that was in the morning, and we missed. Well, they didn't talk about it, so everything we saw was later that day.
Okay.
We've been here.
It's very beautiful.
That's cool. Tokyo Disney Sea is celebrating 25 years next year, which is hard to believe. Is this the official color of 25 years? Did we determine that? Because the cruise line has the same color.
I like it.
And it is so pretty. So
Yep.
pretty. So it is their sparkling Jubilee, and it kicks off on April 15th, 2026, and runs through March 31st, 2027. The anniversary, of course, is on September 4th, 2001, and I'm sure many details regarding that will be coming soon, but now you know there's a reason to go. 25 years of Disney Sea is so hard to believe. All right, back here, speaking of barely necessities, there's a lot of 70th merchandise that is being released and talked about and pre-sold and stuff. So I am sure Rebecca and Becca will be talking about a lot of that tomorrow Thursday during the specially moved barely necessities, but special gift cards for the 70th. So I'm just giving you a quick preview here of some of that. Do you guys talk about Joffrey's? Is that on your radar?
Yeah, we do. We
All
discussed Joffrey, so so we'll be talking about that new dark roast that's coming in celebration of the 70th.
And lots of souvenirs. Love this color so much.
That is very Tokyo.
Right?
That one is actually really cute. And the
Harold.
Yeah.
And we discussed these on the morning show the other day. I'm excited about that stainless steel sipper with the map on it that just passed by.
That one's nice. That is nice. Okay. And finally, a foodie guide, which we talked about last week for the 70th. A nice big foodie guide on the website. Oh, Jeremiah.
Yep.
What's the first thing you think when you see this alien?
When they did it for the Pixar, and it broke into many, many different pieces when I first got it.
Okay, that is not what I thought, but that's great. So another foodie guide. Disney Eats, man. They took that ball and ran. They love all the food stuff that comes out. Okay. A few more quick items. SeaWorld's. No, I don't want to talk about that. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I feel like we've covered a heck of a lot today.
It's the 20th anniversary of a few things. I'm sure Jeremiah remembers what was going on 20 years. It's 20 years ago, right?
20 years ago right now, yeah.
World Resort.
Yep. Actually, I don't know if I shared this last year or the other times. So the LA Times, today is the kickoff of the 50th anniversary at Disneyland. Yesterday, 20 years ago, Disneyland was closed, but it was open to hotel guests and invited media. Today, I was at the gate waiting for them to open, and Mickey Mouse and Paul and Michael Eisner and everybody came out, and there's a picture of me on the front page of the LA Times looking through the gate.
Really?
Yes.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hang on. You guys keep talking. I'll grab it.
I'll do one other.
As part of that celebration, right? Because they launched it at Disneyland because it's 05, 05, 05. And so they were launching their celebration there. But out here in Orlando,
in San Francisco,
there was a variety of attractions that came to that coast as a kind of a celebration.
Yeah, it was like everyone gave presents to everyone else around the world. So
Cinderella-bration, the one everybody
Cinderella-bration.
forgets.
That's
And
right.
in my life, it meant a dramatic change in my weekend going to Disney, because when we had a son, he fell in love with Lights, Motors, Action, which was one of these items, because it came from Studios Paris. And we went so many times that the cast there actually gave him a very special memento of it. One of the windows that they would break out from when the motorcycle, one of them got damaged enough that it wasn't going to get reused, so they mounted it, and along with a bunch of pictures from the show, and gave him a little tour and a little stunt crew cap. And really sweet. It hangs in our kitchen. We see it all the time. But so 20 years of that. Did you find it, Jeremiah?
He did
Yes,
find it. I want to do one quick thing before we go back to that. I should have definitely mentioned that Luke got to go check out the new attraction that won't come up on my screen. Thank you. New attraction, Expedition Odyssey over at SeaWorld. It's not officially opened yet, but it is in previews.
Did you guys see the thing that happened a few days after the preview?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the letters fell down.
Yeah.
Oh. So, but this attraction is a lot like Soarin'. So if you're a fan of Soarin', go check out Expedition Odyssey. Luke does have an interview with one of the creators there, and of course it has the feel of SeaWorld. This is where you can go see the baby. Luca. Baby. Okay, so check that out. Jeremiah was able to get to us.
This was 15 years ago on my time hop, because it was off of Facebook. But yes, that was.
You can see Jeremiah right here with the little gold mouse here.
I don't think so.
Yes, that was me. That was me right there.
Look at you. You're the only one sticking your hands through the gate, Jeremiah.
Hey, even before I was with Laughing Place, I knew how to take pictures.
Are you wearing a newsboy hat?
No. Maybe?
Maybe?
I don't have one of the papers with me. They're all wrapped up in storage. I need to get one of those framed.
20 years
That
ago.
is so very fun.
And this is on the morning of the 5th, you said?
Morning of the 6th.
The 6th.
Because I was there for the 5th.
Okay. I thought, wait, so the 5th was the media event?
This would have been published on the 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the 5th was the actual opening. The 4th was the media event.
Okay.
This was rope drop, or gates opening.
Why
Michael
weren't
Eisner.
I'm so confused. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
I was working on the day of the 4th.
Oh, like working a real job. When you said working,
Yes.
I assumed you meant like working a media event or something.
No, I was working a real job, so I was not able to go. I do have pictures of stuff that happened on the 4th, including Michael Eisner and the reopening of a lot of stuff on that day, including Space Mountain. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln had reopened. I believe that wasn't that the haircut version? Did that open on the 50th?
I believe that was the haircut, I believe. Never mind. I'm not going down that road. Okay. Back in the day, newspapers were published overnight, so a picture taken on the 5th would appear in print on the 6th, but this says the 6th. Or 8th. You can't tell what that says with this resolution. Anyway, thank you, Tony.
If somebody can get into the LA Times archives and find me a good digital shot of that, I'd be very appreciative.
Me too. Anyway, anything else anyone wants to mention today before we close out?
Nope.
Then all I'd like to say is thank you for joining us.
That was very and this is our last show.
I know, right? It's very farewell.
It's been fun. I have decided it is time for me to retire, not only from Disney Parks Talk Live, but from anything involving actual thinking. You know what's bothering me?
What's got your high?
See what you've started, Jeremiah?
I know.
What's got me bugged? Let me show you a picture of what arrived in my mailbox today.
Oh.
Okay.
You guys, this is bad. That's why he's been so buffering.
This is which is only evidence that I deserve to get this.
No,
so
I don't
irony.
Quite so buffered if you hadn't have received this.
I'm getting it. I accidentally saved it in a work folder, which is not where it should be saved. So someone's got to go to put in a contract and see this headline.
I don't even know what this is now.
Further
I'm really
evidence.
invested.
Just wait. It's Submarine Doobies Day.
You should
I don't know
not
why
open up your mailbox
do
and get
this.
an email that says
Oh, yes. I
early
saw
access,
this.
lift silver for older adults, even more painful, the key to independence for older adults. This does not apply to me, or does it? Or does it? So I'm a little
Every
old
time
right
we
now.
go to IHOP, Gideon likes to point out how close Dad is to. Wow, it only
9 months away, Dad.
Only
9 months away. Thanks, Kitty.
you can order off this page.
I used to do the same thing to my mom, and I
Yep.
now feel so mad at my younger self for being such a jerk. All right, folks, that's it. I will be back tomorrow if I can get my lumbago going. Thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.
Is it going to
Bye-bye.
rain?